Hi everyone, hope you're doing all well. I just wanted to post a video where I talk a little bit about my mental health struggles and the impact it's had on my music career. I don't usually talk about this kind of thing because I often feel embarrassed or ashamed, but I think it's important to say a few words about it because there are a lot of people out there suffering and maybe I can offer a bit of hope. I've written a few things out to help get my thoughts across more clearly because I'm not very good at talking freely to the camera about this kind of thing, so it might come across a little bit robotic while I'm reading. Basically, I've had severe obsessive compulsive disorder from a young age. It would take far too long to talk about the effect this disorder has had on my entire life, so I've decided to just talk about the impact it's had on my musical life. I don't like to complain or make excuses, but I wanted to make this video for quite a while because I hear a lot of misconceptions about OCD, and sometimes it's good to be a little bit vulnerable. We're all in this big messy life together, and when we share our struggles it might just help someone else feel not so alone. Just reading off my iPad here. At times I've been accused of being lazy or lacking drive at times by people because I'm not further in my music career. It's hard to hear that sometimes, but I don't let it bother me too much because I know how far I've come, and I know how much work it's been to simply get out of bed sometimes in the past. OCD can be an invisible illness to some degree, so I don't hold it against people who simply don't understand. OCD is made up of obsessions and compulsions. Obsessions are intrusive thoughts, urges, images, or feelings that cause intense anxiety or distress. Compulsions are what people with OCD try to do to suppress the discomfort caused by the obsession. OCD is basically a faulty alarm system. It's like the warning lights coming on the dashboard of your car telling you that there's catastrophic engine failure when really there's nothing wrong. It's just faulty wiring. Or the panic you feel if something triggers the fire alarms in your house and you can't turn them off. It feels like something's drastically wrong even if there's not really anything much wrong at all. When I was very young, I knew exactly what I wanted to be. There was no doubt in my mind I was going to be a guitar player. I had big plans and dreams. I would watch my heroes, Tommy Emmanuel, Michael Fix, James Taylor, Danny Gatton, and think that one day I'll be on stage too. But as I got older, I realized something was quite wrong in my brain. I started getting plagued by intrusive thoughts and worries. I was too young to articulate what was going on to my parents, but I knew something was off, and it was terrifying. For years, these obsessions or worries took up a lot of mental space. There were times where I was barely functional or able to communicate. The years rolled by and my dreams drifted away. It was always, once I solve this obsession, my life can begin. Of course, the more I tried to solve things, the worse it would get. And if a particular obsession did subside, there was always another one to take its place. Often multiple at a time. Things got really dark for me sometimes. I won't go into detail, but the music was always there to provide some light. No matter how lonely and scary things got, I always had my music. OCD, however, attacks the things that are most important. Unfortunately for me, my music has been somewhat of a target for the OCD. For instance, when I was younger, I would scrub my hands so hard and viciously that my fingers would be swollen and bleeding. I could wear down a hard bristled scrubbing brush in just 1 or 2 weeks. This of course made practicing guitar difficult sometimes because my hands were numb and sore often. I then became convinced that I'd damaged the bones in my fingers and would not be able to play to my full potential. This worry completely took over my thought process. I couldn't enjoy playing guitar properly for at least a couple of years. All I could think about while I was playing was how I've wrecked my fingers. I was completely convinced that I'd bent my right index finger in particular. I'd tried to straighten it by bending it back. I'd constantly ask people for reassurance. Does this finger look bent? It was really hell. And my psychiatrist at the time had had run out of words to tell me, to try and convince me. Nothing could convince me otherwise. He wanted to take x-rays of my hands to show me that there's no permanent damage, but I knew that that wouldn't be enough proof. Eventually, through sheer willpower, I stopped scrubbing my hands, and the obsession over the damaged fingers slowly faded. It's still there if I think about it enough, but I've learnt to live with the uncertainty. Another symptom that's had a huge effect on my ability to enjoy music is something that's called a thought-object fusion. Basically, my brain will attach intrusive thoughts to things that are important to me. OCD doesn't really let you enjoy anything. It's been referred to as the joy thief. Countless guitars have been ruined for me because of this, and I had to get rid of them. The pain and torment of keeping them was just too much. It was so depressing to get rid of guitars that I wanted to enjoy so badly. I'd see other musicians enjoying their instruments, and I would just feel so empty and defeated. No amount of therapy could reverse this infection, and once a guitar was ruined, that was it. I couldn't undo it. No reasoning would work, no logic would work. The third area which is negatively impacted by the OCD is basically music marketing. I've never been able to build an online following because my social media accounts would also become infected by thoughts, and I would have to delete them and start again. I've been through multiple YouTube channels, Facebook and Instagram accounts, email addresses, even bank accounts. It sounds kind of crazy, but it felt totally real to me. Thankfully, I don't do this anymore. I also don't sell my guitars and amps anymore, even if they do become ruined or infected. I just hold on to them. Another way in which things are challenging is performing. Getting out and about can be very difficult at times. I can find it hard to be amongst lots of people for a variety of reasons. I push through, but it is difficult. Recording and performing can be hard for a number of reasons. When I was younger, I might have an intrusive thought. Partway through a recording take, I would purposely stuff up and make a mistake because I felt like I needed to do the take again and have the right sort of thoughts. Performing live can be a struggle too because I get a lot of tics and tensing that are related to the OCD. A little voice in my head will tell me I must touch this part of my hand on the guitar there in the middle of a song, or my finger must touch here, or I must tense my right wrist, otherwise you won't be able to play the song properly. It makes it very hard to concentrate on the music. If I make a mistake on stage, it's usually because of this. This is really just the tip of the OCD iceberg, but that's a general idea of how it has impacted my ability to have a music career. It would take a whole book to describe how it's affected my whole life, but I thought it would be good just to talk about how it's impacted on my music, which is my main passion and joy in life. I've only ever talked about this a little bit here and there and only open up to a select few people in the past. It really is scary and embarrassing to talk about. I've had people tell me, oh, your OCD is a gift, that's why you play the way you do. I can tell you that this simply isn't the case. OCD adds nothing positive to life. It only takes from you. I would undoubtedly be a better and more focused guitar player had I not had this curse. I will say, though, my songwriting has been shaped by some of my experiences. Some of my best songs have probably been born from suffering. However, I don't believe suffering is necessary to create beautiful music. We all have different challenges in life. This has just simply been my experience. I'm also sometimes reluctant to share details about my OCD because often when I do, people say, oh yeah, I have that too, or I like to use the same coloured pegs on the clothesline, or my brother, sister, auntie is like that. They like everything to be just right. It's very trivialised and misunderstood. It's not just a personality quirk. It's a debilitating, soul-crushing force that will take everything from you if you let it. It's been rated as one of the top 10 most debilitating illnesses, period. But now for the hopeful, positive part of the video, because there is always hope. and the human spirit is strong, and the power of music is limitless. No matter how hard this illness tried to take the music away, it couldn't. And I'm still here, and I'm still writing songs and playing guitar. I've made some really good progress in the last couple of years. My struggles have forced me to really understand myself on a much deeper level. I've developed Jedi-like mindfulness skills and hopefully reached a point where I can help others. I've completed a master's degree in counselling during the pandemic, and I also feel like I'm more ready than ever to do more music. It's still a daily challenge at times, but my mind is strong and resilient, and I'm feeling more positive. I don't let the OCD dictate my life the way it used to. If you're struggling from OCD or something like that too, don't give up, and try not to compare yourself to others. Everyone's journey is different, and success can be measured in a variety of ways. Life is messy. Let it be a mess and live your life anyway. Nothing is impossible. I'd like to finish with a song. This one's called Invisible. I wrote this quite a long time ago, many years ago. It's basically about my experience, and it's for anyone that does suffer from an invisible mental illness or invisible illness of some sort. So here it goes. This one's Invisible. When you were hurt and broken and no one understands, you spend your whole day hoping that soon things go as planned. So far the times ain't changing, the future's still unknown. Your hope and dreams are fading, and you feel so alone. Out of reach and out of sight, out of time, out of fight. The things you want just drift away. Oh, I know it's hard, but let me say, just hold on tight and try not to believe that you don't have a say in your destiny. The world around you's moving, you're left behind in pain. You don't care for tomorrow, 'cause each day is the same. You sit alone at nighttime in a dim lit room. The song's your only lifeline, your dreams, your thoughts consume. Out of reach and out of sight, out of time, out of fight. Things you want just drift away. Oh, I know it's hard, but let me say, just hold on tight and try not to believe that you don't have a say in your destiny. Feel like you've been cheated, the taste is all you get, a glimpse of what you could have if you could just forget. You live inside your own world, your thoughts stand in the way. Don't think things won't get better, you'll be free someday. Out of reach and out of sight, out of time, out of fight. Things you want just drift away. Oh, I know it's hard, but let me say, just hold on tight and try not to believe that you don't have a say in your destiny. Thank you.